Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of How I Made Today. We're looking at Fine, as you can see. Fine was the first song of 2024. And boy, was it a good one. I'd like to think that Fine was kind of the song that put me on the map more than anything else. So I big time appreciate it, Fine. Thank you. But let's get into it. So as you can see, here we have Fine. Doesn't look like much. And it's really not much. It's one of my smaller projects. But getting into it, I'm going to start with the drums today because the drums were the big kicker of this whole thing. Much like All Mine, this song came before All Mine. This was my first time using real drums with the guy on Fiverr. So I was a little scared, to say the least, because I was like, I don't know, I could get scammed. I don't know what's going on. And they turned out great. So really not too big a deal. Fiverr is pretty good. I recommend it if you find the right guy. Don't skimp out on the prices. That's all I got to say. You don't need to pay $10 for drums. Drums are going to cost some money. But the nicest thing is, where I'm at right now, the cheapest drum session player ran $90 an hour. I looked, $90 an hour. And I don't even know if that was like in a studio or not. That was like, let's go figure it out. So this was just the better option. He did it for 2/3 of that price. And he gave me a few different takes. And holy smokes, was I impressed. I was floored. They were phenomenal. Everybody knows that first beautiful part. So what I did is I wrote the groove down in MIDI drums, the electronic computer drums. In fact, let me just do that right now so you know how to do it. If you guys go on Logic, all you got to do is go to a software instrument, find a beautiful drum kit. I remember I used 4 on the Floor. That was the drum kit that I used. I'll toss it up top. But Command K brings up your musical typing. Just like that. And then you press record and you basically get going. And that's how I would do it. Obviously, it sounds nothing like it because it's not quantized or anything yet. And it looks like buns, I can't lie. But if I were to quantize it and stick that back, it's still nothing like it. But you get the idea. I wrote the drums down like that, and I sent them to him. The whole song was already drummed out by me using computer drums. And I was like, okay, how does this sound? And he was like, let me get to work. Did it, and this is what came back. And boy, does it sound great. Halfway through, when the first chorus comes in, I add a nice, beautiful tambourine. It's pretty quiet, but it gives enough texture that it kind of really balances out the whole thing. Love that tambourine. I just love tambourines. I can't kid. Now, guitars, arguably the part of the song that makes it the song. I made the song sounding like that, and then I was talking to one of my friends, Kaysen. You may know him from Just All Right. I'll show you how I made that song in the future. But yeah, we were rolling through this, and I was like, dude, what are you thinking? And he goes, it feels like it just comes in. You need to add something that like kind of can carry you into that guitar part. And I was like, that's a stupid idea. And not even 5 minutes later, this came in. And there were 2 of them, right in the intro and in the first verse. After that first verse, the guitars don't cut out, so no need to bring them back in, right? I was really thinking of putting some in all sorts of places, but I was like, nah, let's just keep it simple. I wrote this song with the intention that there would only be a few parts because I wanted this to be the most realistic song that I could play live. And it kind of is. Every time we play it, I'm astonished that it sounds so much like the recording, which is a great thing because, everybody remembers it the same way. We do change up some stuff when we play it live, though, because you gotta. But yeah, so that's where all of this jazz came from. The bass line, the coolest part, really, I didn't even write this song. I was hanging out, doing my thing, doing some studio stuff, and my younger brother came in. He was like, "What is we doing?" And that was the main bass line throughout the whole thing. And he was like, "Dude, it needs more." I was like, "I don't know. This is gonna. I did it." He's like, "No, dude, do something with some like slides. Do something that like really grooves with it." And like, I was like, "You know what? Yeah, you're right. I want this to be better." So I kind of reconstructed this same bass line with the do 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 do. I kind of did that same thing, but thought, okay, let's do some slides. Let's work it around more. Let's put some more notes in there. And that's where this came from. So yeah, that was the fun with that. And that's it as far as guitar goes. Oh wait, no, sorry, that was just the bass. Let's get into the guitar. Guitar 1, this is the one that does the doo 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 doo. Really, honestly simple. It's just a D major to a D major 7 chord to a G major 7 chord. Good times, great times. There's nothing really too special about this one. I did a summing stack. I put an amp and a beautiful mod in there. Just to liven it up. Lots of reverb on it. And the second guitar is the lead guitar. It kind of goes over the same thing, just like higher versions of the same chords and notes. But yeah, honestly, those two guitar parts are angelic together. I don't know how it like all came together, but it did, and it did pretty well. They are perfect together, perfect. And I was like, I don't need any more, and then I added one more. Because you always add just one more. This last guitar. This is the version of guitar 2 that I put in the pre-chorus. There were some different settings and volumes and stuff that I didn't really care to just, do in the same track because I wanted it to be the way I thought about it. So I just made another track. But really, there are two guitar parts. There's guitar 1 and guitar 2, and this is guitar 2 that just does a different part. So it's a very, very simple song in that sort of way. And what more could I want? This whole song turned out to be very simple, very rudimentary, just a good idea executed very well. And I can pat myself on the back for that because it's my highest streaming song right now. So, love that, Last but not least, vocals. I didn't have very many. Very cut and dry. Same with synths. I didn't even put any synths in. I had a couple in when the project started. And halfway through, I was like, you know what? I just don't need these, man. I want to do this. And I want to do it very delicately. So I took out the synths. And I didn't notice a difference hardly at all. So I said, cool, we're just going to leave them out then. But yeah, I did one vocal on the verses, one vocal on the pre-choruses, and 3 that are split middle, pan left and right on the choruses. And that's it. And then there's one Let's Go, which I just felt had to be in there. You can't...
Let's go!
You can't do it without a Let's Go. But, yeah.
I wanted to go, but now I'm feeling kind of lonely.
Looking back, I think I maybe put too much gain on this vocal because it's at negative 8.2 decibels, but it's still crazy loud. If I were to go back, I'd do it way differently. But that's okay. This was a learning experience. When I made this song, I decided that from that point forward, I would be doing one song a month for 6 months, just to get some more catalog, make good music, challenge myself, and be consistent. That was the biggest thing. I needed to try my best to be more consistent with making music, because I felt like it was one decent song, one pretty good song, and then 20 bad songs, and then one pretty good one, and then 20 bad ones. So I was like, okay, it doesn't matter. I'm going to keep making music. I'm going to put one song out every single month. And I made 6, and this was the one that made it for the month of January. And the other couple ended up coming out in February under an album that has since been taken down because of some stupid problems that I've been having. So that's unfortunate, I guess. But this is really it. It was a pretty simple song, especially going through it, making it. Nothing special on the vocals, nothing crazy. They're pretty clean.
Yeah, I'm doing just fine.
And here we are. This is fine. Really, honestly, not my most complex piece of work. And some people say that doing it simple is better, but this was the whole thing. Overall, it took me, I think, around 5 or 6 days to write, produce, and get everything done, and then like another week after that to mix and master everything. And this was all in Christmas break, December 2023. I had a lot of free time on my hands, so I wrote and did this a lot. So, but yeah, thank you for watching. If you haven't listened to Fine yet, go check it out. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, and all the other streaming platforms, and it's even here on YouTube. If you guys like this, comment. I love explaining my process and everything. I don't like keeping secrets as far as production goes. So, yeah, try to catch the next one.